If you like this video, why not subscribe? Hey everybody, welcome back to the Frugal Filmmaker Kickstarter edition. And what that means is I'm currently in the process of making a film, my thesis film, so I can graduate from graduate school. And I'm looking for help in raising a budget. So I've started a Kickstarter page, Kickstarter campaign to raise $9,000 to fund my 25-minute science fiction action drama called Collection Day. You might have heard me ranting about it before now, but the Kickstarter page is live, and I'm taking pledges, and I've got all sorts of interesting rewards, I think, that you might like. But if you've liked anything on this channel before and you feel like I've helped you out in any way, whether it's save money or come up with new interesting equipment or ideas or filmmaking basics or whatever, take some time, please check out the Kickstarter page and see if you can maybe help me raise my budget. I'm looking for $9,000. And so far I've got $1,000, so that's a good start. It's been going about a day and a half, but I could really use your help to meet that $9,000 goal. So check it out, click on the link next to my head or down in the description below and see if you can't help me. This week I'm actually building this. This is what I'm calling cleverly the Frugal Fattener. And what this does is it takes a small camera body like the Sony NEX5N and makes it a little bit larger. So if you have large gangly hands and fingers like me, you won't get all cramped up trying to hold this little tiny camera body, especially when you have a big honking lens on it like this. This is a Vivitar Series 1 70 to 210 millimeter zoom, one-touch zoom. It's the largest lens that I have, and so when I'm using this lens and I have this little tiny camera, my hands get all gnarled up trying to hold this little tiny camera body. So I built something that would make the camera larger and gives it a nice padded grip on the side here, as well as a way to focus where I could rest the actual camera, the bottom of this rig, on my palm, so when I wanted to focus and zoom, it makes it really easy. So this cost me, if you go the premium route and build everything here, this is about $20, but you can also get away with spending about $10. So if you have large hands and you need something to beef up your point and shoot, check this out. We're going to build it right now. Here's your basic parts list for the Fattener. You've got a cheap flash bracket here. It's about $3 on eBay. You've got this foam camera handle grip. It's got 1/4-20 threads on the top and the bottom. It's about $7. We've got this flash shoe adapter, lets you adapt things to cold or hot shoes. Those are $3. Got a pair of rubber washers, about 50 cents a piece at a local hardware store. And then you have this optional but nice metal quick release system, $10. First thing we're going to do is take the flash bracket and remove the flash holder there. Let's take one of these knobs and unscrew it. We're going to take our foam handle and get rid of this. It's got actually has a washer on it already, but because where this ends up is kind of based on the thickness of the washer, I'm going to replace it with one of my other ones. There we go. Then I'm going to take the foam handle and just screw it into where the knob was before, only going from the top instead of the bottom. So now, since we have this thread up here, I wanted to add something to it in case we wanted to replace this, which was connected to the actual bracket. Now it's elevated, and instead of just putting this here, I went ahead and got a different one. These are a much better quality than what came with it, so I'm just replacing this. Though I think the one I provide in the link has a better flash bracket connector. Cold shoe, that's what it is. Next, what I did was I took this, the shoe adapter, and I took one of the knurled nuts off the top of it there. Actually, I took both of them off. I'm only going to use one. I really like these. These are very handy for a lot of DIY projects, and they look really nice. So what I did here was I took this and I actually dremeled off this plate right here, which I ended up with something like this, which is about 1 inch long 1/4-20 thread. Of course, you can take any 1/4 inch thread and use this. I just happened to have one of these that was pretty beat up, so cut the plate off. So what I did was I put the little threaded rod here into the cold shoe, and then I put the knurled nut on the bottom of that. Then I added the other rubber washer. And that kind of gives me a certain kind of spacing because I wanted to end up with the cold shoe facing forward. So that's why I added the nut and the rubber washer, and it seemed to give me what I wanted. So now I have a place, an elevated place to mount a flash or video light or microphone or whatever right there. I took my quick release plate and I attached it like so. Even this cheap flash bracket has a nice rubber gasket so that when you attach something to it, it's going to lock down pretty well. And what I did was, because I haven't put my camera in here yet, I'm not sure where to mount this, so I went ahead and put it on the edge, tightened it just a little teeny bit, and got it ready to receive my camera so that I could adjust it. So I've got my camera here, and it has the other end of the quick release system, the base plate attached to my lens adapter right there. So I'm just going to go put it in place like so. And as you can see, it looks kind of like a normal flash bracket holder thing there, but what I want to do is I want this camera to be really close to this handle so that I can easily reach the shutter right here comfortably. So this is still loose. I'm just going to bring it as close as I can here, and I'm actually going to push it into the foam, kind of lock it into place before I screw this quick release base down here. So now it's in place. So now this is right up against the foam handle, and as you can see, I can easily reach the shutter with my index finger like so. It adds a bigger grip. It's definitely more comfortable and easier to grab. I had to modify this a little bit because the bracket here, as you can see, this corner is quite sharp. I had to knock this one off quite a bit since the palm of my hand is going to be holding it like this. I was sort of being irritated by that little point into my palm, so I went ahead and dremeled it off with a little grinding wheel so that it wasn't such a sharp edge. Something else I should mention here is that even though originally the cold shoe was facing forward because it was lined up with the flash bracket down here, notice now that because I've turned the base of the quick release system so the camera's actually at an angle so it pushes up against the foam grip, now my cold shoe is not facing forward anymore, the same direction as the camera, it's facing off to the right. So that's easy to fix. You just pop your camera off and you turn the handle to where you think it's going to line up. Actually, you can see the base, and there you go, base and the cold shoe there, so they're facing the same direction. So now when you put everything back together, your video light or microphone or whatever will be pointed in the same direction of the lens, which is what you want. Ta-da! Okay, now you may remember a couple of months ago I did something similar to this with a Vivitar SteadyPod, which was that little camera grip slash tripod that would open and close, had that angled grip. When you turn it to the side after fastening it to the bottom of the camera, you could do something similar that the Fattener does here. But that rig made my wrist hurt pretty badly when I was using this large lens, so I couldn't really use it. It didn't have this kind of bottom support thing here. So that I had to come up with something different, and that's why I came up with this. So if you have large hands and a small camera, I think this is ideal. You might want to check it out. If you want to save some money on this, you can always skip the quick release plate, which means you might want to use a shorter camera handle than this one. This one's actually pretty tall. You know, use something smaller like this, or this one right here. This is pretty short, so if you have a smaller camera, you might want to invest in something like that, which is actually less money than this, but it doesn't have the foam grip either. So at any rate, this won't cost you that much. The basic model is 10 bucks. The fancy model is 20. And if you replace this here, like I did, that'll cost you a couple extra dollars. So at any rate, thanks for watching this special Kickstarter edition. Again, if you have a couple seconds, go check out my Kickstarter page so you can see what kind of movie I'm making and whether or not you might want to contribute to it. We'll see you next week with another project. Bye-bye.